Ever wonder how some people just seem to nail their goals while, others struggle? We're going deep on Maxwell Maltz to figure that out. And get this, he wasn't some psychologist, he was a plastic surgeon.
Yeah, you wouldn't think, right? But that's actually what led him to this whole idea about self-image.
Mhm.
Super interesting stuff.
So, how'd that happen? What was his big aha moment?
Picture this. Your Maltz, doing these surgeries, people's appearances are changing big time. You'd think they'd be over the moon.
Right, total happiness makeover, right?
Exactly. But here's the catch. Some folks, even after, successful procedures, still weren't happy. That's what made Maltz stop and think. Like, real change. It's not about looks. It's got to come from somewhere else, from the inside.
So that's where this whole self-image thing comes in.
You got it. This is key to Maltz's whole theory. Think of it like, a mental picture of yourself. It's the foundation for how you see yourself, what you believe you can do, your whole reality, really.
Okay, so we're not talking about how you look in the mirror.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
deeper than that.
Way deeper. It's like the blueprint you're operating from. And Maltz said this really powerful thing. He said, the self-image is the key to human personality and human behavior. Change the self-image, and you change the personality and the behavior.
Wow, okay, that's intense. But how does this self-image actually work in our lives? Everyday stuff.
Great question. Maltz used this analogy, called it the servomechanism, basically a guidance system. Think of your mind like that, always trying to make your reality match your self-image.
So if I'm thinking I'm not good enough, my mind's gonna try and prove that true, even if it's messing me up.
Bingo. It's like you believe you'll fail that job interview, so you might unconsciously act in ways that make it happen.
Whoa, that's kind of scary.
Yeah, it can be. Makes you realize how powerful this stuff is. So for Maltz, changing your life, it starts with changing that self-image.
All right, but how? How do you actually do that?
This is where it gets really cool. Maltz was huge on the power of imagination.
Wait, are we talking The Secret and all that? Just wish for it and it'll come true.
Not quite that simple. It's not passive daydreaming. It's actively using your imagination to reshape that self-image.
Gotcha. So give me an example, something concrete.
Think about athletes, right? They visualize winning, really seeing it, feeling it. Maltz said anyone can do that.
So I picture myself being successful, confident, and that actually starts changing my self-image.
Yep. And there's even science backing this up. The brain, it doesn't always know the difference between something you vividly imagine and real life.
Seriously. So fake it till you make it, but in your mind.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Maltz said it this way. Your nervous system cannot tell the difference between an imagined experience and a real one. Pretty wild, huh?
Yeah, mind-blowing. So if thinking positive can do that, what about the flip side? Dwelling on negative stuff, does that set us up to fail?
You bet. Maltz talked about two modes our minds work in, the success mechanism and the failure mechanism.
Okay, I'm listening. Tell me more about these mechanisms.
So the failure mechanism, that's all the bad stuff. Self-doubt, fear, reliving your mistakes over and over keeps you stuck.
Gotcha. So what about success mode? How do we tap into that?
That's all about, like we were saying, feeding your mind those positive images, things you want to achieve. It's like programming yourself for success.
So how do we switch gears from failure mode to success mode? What do we actually DO?
Well, first things first, got to forgive yourself.
Yeah.
For the mistakes, hanging on to that stuff, that just keeps the failure mechanism going. Acknowledge it, learn, then poof, let it go.
Yeah, holding on to guilt, that's not going to help anyone move forward.
Exactly. And then, just like those athletes we talked about, feed your mind those pictures of success. Really imagine it reaching those goals.
So new mental picture, new self-image,
Yeah.
the you want to be.
Exactly. And those negative thoughts, can't just ignore them, but got to learn to control them. Like hitting the delete key, replace them with something positive, something that'll actually help.
Oh, I like that, the delete key. It's like taking charge, right? Choosing to focus on what you DO want, not what you're scared of.
You got it. Which brings us to another thing. Maltz talked about the self-fulfilling prophecy.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of that. So we're manifesting our destiny now based on this self-image.
It's not magic, but it can feel like it. Your expectations, they come from your self-image, right?
Yeah.
And they become self-fulfilling.
So someone who thinks they're awesome, they hit a setback, they're more likely to bounce back.
Totally. They've got that inner belief. They're like, okay, this is just a bump. I'm still on track. But the folks with the negative self-image, they get stuck. It's almost like they're unconsciously making things happen that prove themselves right,
Yeah.
even if it's making them unhappy.
This is really making sense now. And I'm seeing how Maltz being a surgeon, it all ties in. He dealt with scars, literally.
You're picking up what I'm putting down. Maltz saw those emotional things, trauma, whatever, as scars too, things that mess with your self-image. Past failures, they're like wounds, gotta heal them.
So not forgetting, but like not letting it define you anymore.
Right on. And this is where relaxing your mind, thinking positive, that comes in. Maltz was big on that. Stress, fear, all that junk, it blocks you from making a good self-image. Got to chill out, focus on what you want.
Yeah, if you're stressed all the time, it's hard to think positive. It's like trying to build on shaky ground.
Perfect analogy. Maltz, his thing was shift your focus.
Mm.
Not ignoring reality, but choosing to see the good stuff, the possibilities.
You instead of I can't do this, it's more like I can and here's how.
Yes. And remember, success, it ain't about being perfect, it's about practice.
Yeah.
Human brain, it learns by doing. Small wins, they add up, they change how you see yourself.
So progress over perfection, I can get behind that. Takes the pressure off.
For sure. Celebrate those little victories.
Yeah.
Every step counts. And that kind of goes with Maltz's do it now idea, putting things off that just fuels the self-doubt.
Oh, procrastination, I know it well. So you're saying doing something, even if it's not perfect, it helps.
Big time. Maltz said, do the thing you fear, and the fear will disappear. Powerful stuff.
Love that quote. Like, you're facing your fear, proving to yourself you're more capable than you thought.
Exactly. Builds that mental muscle. And this all leads to, like, the final point here, gotta let go of the past, make a new mental blueprint.
We talked about forgiving yourself, but this sounds even deeper.
It is. A lot of us, we're held back by stuff that happened, failures, mean things people said. It's baggage weighing us down.
See, how do we ditch it? Just try and forget.
Not forgetting, letting go. It's like that stuff happened, but it doesn't define who you are. You can learn from it, but it doesn't run your future.
Okay, got it. Easier said than done, though, right?
Takes work, but it's so worth it. Maltz was all about this new blueprint, a self-image that's who you want to be, not who you were. Challenge those bad beliefs, talk to yourself nicely, and picture yourself winning where you used to struggle.
Sounds intense, but like a good intense. Choosing who you want to be, not letting your past call the shots.
You got it. It's owning your self-image, making it work for you. And it's not a one-time thing. It's a process, You keep growing, learning.
So we're always working on this self-image thing. Never really done.
That's the cool part, I think. For Maltz, real success wasn't some finish line. It was this constant becoming, being better.
Not perfection, but always getting better. I like that.
Me too. It's the journey. You enjoy it. Celebrate along the way. And remember, everything you need to get there, it's already inside you. Just got to tap into it, use it to make your vision happen.
This has been eye-opening, really. I'm getting how powerful this self-image stuff is, how it affects, like, everything.
It's powerful stuff, for sure. And it applies to everyone, no matter what your goals are, who you are. We all got this self-image, and we can change it, make it work for us.
So what's the takeaway for our listener, the one who gave us all this awesome Maltz material?
Biggest thing, you're not stuck with whatever self-image you got now. You can change it. By thinking differently, talking to yourself better, taking action, it's rewiring for success. Focusing on what you want, not what you're afraid of.
I love that. So empowering, right? You can literally change your life by changing how you see yourself, like a hidden superpower.
And everyone's got it. It's not luck, not talent. It's all in your head. You're in charge of your own life. You create what you want to see.
Okay, I'm feeling inspired now. Ready to get to work on my own self-image, see what I can do.
That's what I like to hear. And remember, it's a journey. Be patient. Celebrate those little wins. Don't give up.
Wise words. This deep dive, it's been amazing. One guy, Maxwell Maltz. And look at all the insights he gave us. But before we go, there's one thing Maltz didn't really touch on, and the stuff you have at least.
That's true. He's all about how to change, but not so much about where these negative self-images come from in the first place.
Yeah, like that seems kind of important, right?
It is. Maybe our listener, they can explore that. Could be a whole other fascinating thing to learn about.
Definitely makes you think, where does all that come from,
Yeah.
The stuff we believe about ourselves, our childhood, things people said, the whole world around us.
It's a whole other deep dive, for sure. And it shows how important it is to really know yourself. The more you understand where your beliefs come from, the more you can change the ones that aren't helping you.
Totally. It's like looking at that part of yourself and saying, okay, I see you there, limiting belief. Time to see if you're actually on my team or not.
Exactly. Take control of the story, write a new one that's full of good stuff, one that makes you feel strong.
I love that. Look, we've covered a lot today, and hopefully our listeners feeling energized like I am. What a deep dive into Maxwell Maltz.
It's been awesome talking about this with you. And listener, remember, you've got the power to change your life. It's
Yeah.
all inside you. Embrace it, let it grow, and watch what happens.
Well said. Until next time, keep diving deep, keep learning, and never stop believing in yourself. You got this. It's like we gave them the tools, but now they got to go on their own adventure, figure out what needs fixing.
And that's the best part.
Right.
It's personal.
hmm
Maltz, he gives us a starting point, but the real deal, changing yourself, that's all you.
So, big picture. What do you hope our listener walks away with after this whole Maltz deep dive?
I hope they get that they're not stuck,
Mm-hmm.
you know, not with their past, not with whatever limits they think they got, not with that negative voice in their head. They can change the story, make a new self-image, one that matches what they want to be, what they want to do.
Man, that's powerful stuff. We can do anything if we really believe it, if we use our minds the right way.
You said it. And hey, listener, remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about those little steps you take every day, getting closer to the best you.
This has been so cool, honestly. We just scratched the surface here, I feel like.
Always more to learn, right?
Yeah,
But I think we gave our listener a good place to start. They can build from here.
for sure. Well, this has been awesome. Until next time, everyone, keep diving deep, keep learning, and keep believing in yourselves. You got this.